What's up, son? I want to welcome all my fellow Ravens fans and supporters to the brand new unscripted Ravens Talk. It's a fan podcast. This is a podcast where the fans get together and we just talk trash and we just talk noise about our team that we love so much. My name is B-More Buck and I'm your host for this amazing podcast. This show going to talk about all subjects related to our team, the best football organization in the world, the Baltimore Ravens, and us as diehard fans. My podcast episodes will be published and distributed weekly. Please feel free to like, share, comment, and leave a voicemail or subscribe to my channel at any time. My general disclaimer is this blog and podcast are my own opinions and do not represent the views or opinions of the Baltimore Ravens or the National Football League. We are doing our best to prepare the content of this podcast. However, B-More Buck's edits cannot warranty the expressions and suggestions of the contents as well as its accuracy. In addition to the extent permitted by law, B-More Buck edits shall not be responsible for any losses and or damages due to the uses of this information in our podcast. Okay, what we will not do. Okay, we will not disrespect each other here on my podcast. I will not disrespect no players. All views that I will be talking about and discussions that I will be talking about are my own opinions, okay? I am not no expert. I am not no coach. I'm just a Ravens fan, diehard fan, been one ever since 1996. Okay, this is season number 1, and this is my 6th episode. I would like to start publishing these episodes every week. Sometimes that's difficult to do with so much going on in life and in the world and in sports and in the NFL and with our Baltimore Ravens. They're just blowing it away. But the subject of our discussion today the title will be The Baltimore Ravens, a New Dynasty. Okay? Are the Baltimore Ravens building another dynasty? Guess what? It's here, it's live, and we got it. All right, so get used to it. Get used to the winning. Get used to being talked about. Get used to being in a top 5 NFL team every season. All right, get used to winning championships. Get used to being in the playoffs. Okay, get used to good production, high production from our players. Get used to it because it's coming. Okay, it's coming. It's here and it's going to get better than ever before. All right. So let's talk about let's go to the beginning of this dynasty building phase or this dynasty building. It all started in 2018, okay, when Ozzie Newsome, our ex-general manager, Hall of Fame, tight end, top executive, okay, and I know one day he's going to make the Hall of Fame again for being one of the best general managers ever. He started rebuilding this dynasty that we have known as the Baltimore Ravens. Okay, so it started in 2018, in the 2018 NFL draft, okay? That draft, I will say that draft will probably go down in history as Ozzie Newsome's second best draft, because his first best draft was when he drafted Ogden and Ray Lewis. Okay, that was his first. That's number 1 out of all of his drafts. His second draft is the 2018 draft. Okay, in the 2018 draft, Ozzie Newsome, okay, he got 2 tight ends. Okay, our first pick was a tight end, Hayden Hurst. Okay. Then he drafted Lamar Jackson. All right, now we're going to talk about Lamar Jackson in a minute. Okay, so we got 2 tight ends. We got a elite tackle, and we got elite quarterback and an elite receiver. So we got 5 elite players in 2018. Okay, the best draft pick of 2018 was no other than LJ, Action Jackson, Lamar Jackson, one of the best football and one of the most electrifying football in the NFL in 2019 and on, okay? I first found out or first discovered Lamar Jackson. I've heard about him, but I never did look at any film on him. I've seen a couple of his games. All right. When I finally sat down and looked at his film, I said, this guy is the next superstar of the National Football League. He's the next superstar. And apparently Ozzie Newsome was thinking the same thing, because if you look at all the moves he made in the 2018 draft, it shows you, okay? It shows you what his intent was, okay? He was building a team for Lamar Jackson in 2018, okay? By drafting 2 tight ends, getting an elite tackle, okay? Getting an elite wide receiver, all right? Everything that we could build around him to make him one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the position in the NFL. And that's where he's working on this year, okay? As we know, we're looking at the Ravens closing out this year. We're already 8-2, okay? We done beat all the top teams, the majority of the top teams in the NFL, okay? And we still proving them wrong. Every week we still proving them wrong. I don't argue with the pundits and the haters, because guess what? Our team used that as motivation. Our team used it as motivation. Let them talk about him. Let them talk Lamar can't throw. Let them talk he's not that good. Let them talk it's a fluke. Let them talk it ain't gonna last. And only thing this guy does, and the only thing he has ever done since he was in high school, was win football games and score touchdowns. That's what my mom said. She's 70 years old. She said the only thing Lamar Jackson does is score touchdowns. And guess what? She ain't never lied. She's right on it, right? That's what I'm talking about. So we started with the draft. So the dynasty started coming together in the 2018 draft, okay? So we drafted these elite players, okay? I'm sorry. I know I said a couple of those players drafted in 19. I'm sorry. But we did get Lamar Jackson, Hayden Hurst, and Orlando Brown. We didn't get Marquise Brown. We got Marquise Brown in 2019, okay? So, but we all know what the draft looked like in 2018, all right? And that's when the dynasty was starting to be built by our general manager, our number one general manager, Mr. Ex-General Manager, Mr. Ozzie Newsome. He did an outstanding job with that 2018 draft, especially the way he maneuvered back into the first round and nabbed Lamar Jackson like he did. That was it. I just felt like that was the best move. I know the fans went berserk. Oh, what we draft the quarterback for? He ain't good enough. He ain't big enough. He can't throw the ball. He is not smart enough to call the play, learn the playbook. La-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. They said everything, but all he do is score touchdowns. That's the part they miss. Only thing he does is win, okay? You got to think about it. This young man was in college, okay? He was on a sorry team, all right? Louisville wasn't good, okay? He was the best player on the team. Most of the games they won, he won them by himself. He pretty much beat Florida State by himself, okay? So now just imagine you get that player, and you get that player that was in college and wasn't on a good team for the whole time he was in college, which he won Heisman Trophy. You bring him into the NFL, build a team around him, NFL caliber team, NFL players. And guess what? What do you have? Okay? You have an elite player, a superstar. Okay? And the main thing I like about Lamar Jackson is that he doesn't like to take credit. He doesn't like to take credit. He likes to give everybody, he likes to spread the wealth. Okay? He cares more about the success of his fellow players and their performance than he do himself. Okay? Only thing he wants to do is win. And he wants to see everybody else do good. That's rare to find. That is a rare trait. And when you find a person, a player, an NFL player, a professional NFL player, who has those traits, that is very special. He's a special young man, and he's going to go a long ways in this league. And I'm so glad that we have him on our team, and I hope he'll be on our team forever. Okay. So we put our team together. Okay, in 2018. Okay, we go into the 2018. So we go into the 2018 season over. So come into 2019. Okay, 2019. Eric DeCosta is now the general manager. His first draft as a general manager. Okay, the first time in the Ravens' existence that Ozzie Newsome wasn't the head of the was in charge of the draft. Eric DeCosta took over the reins. Okay, and he did a phenomenal job. Okay, we picked up Marquise Brown. We got I can't think. There's so much going on right now, but he did a marvelous job, especially with getting Marquise Brown. Okay, so once the draft was over with, all right, we go into our off season. Okay, our off season, and we had a wonderful off season. Okay, during the off season, we acquired Mark Ingram. Okay, a lot of people say he was done. I don't know. Mark Ingram been good ever since he was good in Alabama. He's been good ever since. All right, and don't look like he's slowing down, and he don't have that much wear and tear on him. And haven't he been doing a great job on our team this year? That player, that running back he's like got to be in the top 5 running backs. Okay. So we get him. We make a couple of other moves. We get our other big move, Earl Thomas. Come on, Earl Thomas. One thing I like about Eric DeCosta, once a need comes into the radar, he acts. He doesn't wait. He doesn't wait to see if it's going to work out, see if the next player available, if we can put all our. In other words, he don't throw all his apples in one basket. Okay, he don't throw everything. He always have a backup plan. So he goes out. He get Earl Thomas. Phenomenal move right there. And guess what? We pretty much got him for the low. All right, we pretty much got him for the low. Very good, very good. I also like the move he did with the kicker. He traded the kicker. We got a draft pick for the kicker, and the kicker ended up getting in some trouble or something like that, missing field goals, and he was done. Okay, and we got a draft pick out of that. What a steal! So we get Earl Thomas. So we got Mark Ingram and Earl Thomas, our 2 biggest additions in the offseason. We lose a lot of players. Okay, during free agency. All right. We also lost a lot, several players due to injuries. Okay, Tavon Young, Tony Jefferson, Deshaun Elliott. Some of the more notable players we lost to injuries, season-ending injuries. Okay, now some of those positions. Okay, you'd hate to see anyone get injured, but I think we upgraded. Due to injuries, forced us to make upgrades. I'm not saying Tony Jefferson is good, but I think the way we have it now, okay, is a lot better than what it was when he was in there. I'm just going to keep it real. I like Tony Jefferson. He'd bring a lot of fire to our team, and I'm quite sure he'll do a good job for us if he's on the team next year, which I don't believe he will be. I believe we'll move on for him and look to the draft to fill that vacancy on the defense. And then the defense was always questionable. I didn't have really no big concerns of the offense. They kind of made the offense more of a concern than really what it was. First with Lamar Jackson saying he couldn't throw, he couldn't understand the defense, and everything they said about him, which we now know was totally untrue. Okay, which he proved them wrong in every aspect. The man is winning. He winning awards every week. Every week he win the FedEx Air Player of the Week or the Ground Player of the Week. He done won that 2 or 3 times. Okay, AFC Player of the Week, AFC Offensive Player of the Week, and the list goes on and on. He's breaking records. He's breaking records at the speed of sound. I can't even keep up with all of them. But that young man is amazing, and it's just like going to a concert, like a Michael Jackson concert. You know what I'm saying? You want to go to a concert, you want to see the award show just to see what he's going to do. You know what I'm saying? I remember watching Michael Jordan play. You know what I mean? They'd be like, okay, what is Michael Jordan going to do this week? Okay, what kind of layup is he going to do? How many dunks he going to have? What kind of dunk he's going to do this week in the game? All right, it's the same thing with Lamar Jackson. You know what I mean? And that's excitement. You can see the excitement in that stadium. Our stadium, our fans, we've been through a lot. You know what I'm saying? Some of our fans, you know what I mean? I think they got a little upset with the kneeling and all the protests was going on with that. Due to the flag and the national anthem and everything, and also the play of Flacco, you know what I'm saying, and the stalemate that we was in with Marty Morningweg and all these previous offensive coordinators that really wasn't no good, and defensive coordinators. That fact, Dean Pease ain't really do that much either. He was all right, but Martindale is way better than he is. Anyway, so in the off season, everyone was concerned about the offense, and then once everybody pretty much jumped ship on, we lost Zadarius Smith, we lost C.J. Mosley in free agency. Everybody started panicking. Okay, except me. I wasn't really worried about it. I wasn't really worried about it because one thing I know about the Ravens, they're gonna find some good defensive players. They're going to find some good defensive players. Now, in the past, we got in a little stalemate with some players where you know, some of those players we didn't really want to let go for some reason or the other. But anyway, I don't know. You know what I mean? I think a lot of it was based around Joe Flacco's contract, and we just got caught up in that trap with that humongous contract. We really couldn't do nothing. We had to bargain shop for players and make dope deals, you know, to get substandard players, what other people trash. So we were pretty much getting everybody else trash, trying to make something out of them, which some of them worked, some of them didn't work out for us. So going into the season, some questions came up about the offense, receivers. Some questions came up about the offensive line. A lot of us about the offensive line, believe it or not, but I knew our offensive line was pretty good, okay? I knew our offensive line would be all right, especially with Orlando Brown and Ronnie Stelly and Yonder. I really wasn't worried about, you know, with those 3 players, we could patch in some other ones and still be all right. Okay, they'll make up for that weakness. So I really wasn't worried about the offense or the offensive coordinator going into the season. Another key addition the Ravens did was when we hired the quarterback coach, receiver coach from Cincinnati. I think he came from Cincinnati. He's coached a couple of great receivers, Chad Johnson, and the likes. Okay, so he did a lot with Lamar Jackson as far as his techniques and progressions. He also did a lot with our receivers and tight ends, teaching them the basics of how to get open, how to gain separation, okay, how to attack the ball, how to catch the ball, okay, how to gain yardage after the catch, okay. You can see all those things improve this year with our offense. And what about our offensive scheme? It's out of this world. And Harbaugh told them, said, we're going to show y'all something this year y'all never seen before. And they laughed at him. They thought he was joking. I knew he wasn't joking. I was just waiting for it. I was just sitting back like, okay, yeah, y'all think Harb's just talking out the side of his neck, right? All right, you will see. And now they've seen. So we get into the season. At the beginning of the season, the first couple of games we were doing okay. Then we lost to the Cleveland Browns and the Kansas City Chiefs. I wasn't too much worried about the Kansas City Chiefs. It was a close game. I liked the way we played. We were showing progress, and we were showing good production from our players at that time. Then we got some injuries. Then we came back. We lost to the Cleveland Browns. Pretty much got blowed out at home, where we looked terrible. The defense looked terrible. Okay, and I knew in my heart that DeCosta, Wink Martindale, and John Harbaugh would fix that. I trust that organization that much to fix a defense that's bad. Okay, our defense has never been terribly terrible. Okay, we've had some down times. You know what I mean? They made some mistakes and had some good games, some bad games, but for the most part, we always had a very good defense, and I was quite sure that they was going to fix those problems immediately, and that's what they did. They brought back Josh Bonds. They brought in L.J. Fort. They brought in Pico. They brought in Ellis. Okay, these players have come in there, okay, into an environment because it's a winning culture. So anybody we bring in there now that is at least an average player is going to play good because they want to play with Lamar Jackson. They got all the hype going on in Baltimore, so everybody want to come in and do a good job for us, and that seems like that's the case so far. Okay. Oh, and don't let me forget Marcus Peters. Okay. Now he's been fantastic since he's been there. This guy comes in. What he got? 3 pick sixes. He had 1 before he came to us with the Rams. He has 2 with us already. Okay, he's locking down receivers and tight ends. Okay, so now we see where our problems were, right? Okay, we see where our problem was. And look at our defensive line. Look how they're coming around. Okay, look at how we are beating these top teams. The New England Patriots went into Seattle and skull drugged them. Went into New England came to town. We skull drugged them and sent them back to New England. Excuse me. Then look at the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay, now they are rivalry. I know they sorry and haven't won a game, but still they always play us good. We took care of them. Okay, Jack slapped down. All right, and then got the Houston Texans coming to town. Oh, they this, they that. Deshaun Watson, this and that. I wasn't even worried about it. I knew it was going to be a blowout. Okay? And that's exactly what they did. If you look at the rest of our schedule right now and the way we playing, if we can keep up the level of that play, okay, there's not a team out there that the Ravens can't beat. Are we going to lose some games? We probably will. Okay? And maybe we won't. Okay? Maybe we won't. I say we won't lose no more than 2 more games. That's just the way I feel right now. All right? And I'm quite sure I got a lot of people with me on that. If we don't win out, okay, we might even win out. But hey, look, our team is doing a phenomenal job. I'm so happy. The morale in the city of Baltimore is so high. Fans, morale is so high. The players, everybody is so excited and happy and joyous. It's a good holiday season. We got we going on over to LA and play the Rams on next Monday night football, which every time we get a Monday night football game, which is very seldom, we always on the road. But guess what? We're a team built to go on the road, okay? We are built to go on the road. I got a few excerpts from a previous podcast that I did. I just want to go over some of the things that I had discussed. I was discussing during that podcast. I was mentioning that that we have games against Seattle, Houston, and New England, and Los Angeles Rams on the schedule. But this team has the feel of a team built to play with anyone, and it showed in the close affair in Kansas City. So that's how I was feeling going into those games. I felt like we had a team that could go, if they was traveling, they can go into any stadium and beat any team. If any team, whether they're good or bad, come to the M&T Bank Stadium, they're going to get beat. And the only team that we haven't played yet is the Los Angeles Rams, from that excerpt from my previous podcast. Okay. So, you know, I mean, things are looking good in Ravens country. Everyone is getting on board with our team. The nation, okay, It's getting, we're in the spotlight now. We're getting national credit. People are changing their minds about Lamar Jackson. They're changing their mind about John Harbaugh. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I was on the fire John Harbaugh wagon for a minute, okay? Because we had a culture at one time in Baltimore where it was complacent. We didn't want to make no changes. And there's nothing wrong with that, but sometimes you gotta make changes, especially when it comes to players, okay? You can't blame everything on players, but you know what I mean, if the players not working out, if the coordinators, the coaches not working out, hey, you gotta make some changes, man. And you can't be scared to do that. But you gotta make sure those changes you make are effective, all right? So I know everybody's excited like me. I'm not gonna bore you anymore. Hey, thanks for listening to this podcast. Leave your comments, suggestions. Hey, and if you wanna be on a podcast with me, let me know, okay? Leave your phone number or tell me to get in contact with you, DM me or message me, and I'll call you and get your number or whatever, and we'll schedule a time so I can do an interview with you and put you on a podcast. Like I said, this is a fan podcast. This is a trash talking podcast. We can talk about anything, okay? We ain't got to be on no certain subject. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about, you know? The Ravens running game, ain't it the best in the world? Yes, it is. It can't be stopped. They'll pretty much dominate every team they play. It's like Alabama. It's like Alabama being in a D2 league, okay, D2 conference, all right. It's like the SEC compared to the rest of college. It's just crazy of how dominant this team, this 2019 Ravens team is right now. Okay, they're breaking records, they're making history. And you know what I mean, out of all the years of being a Ravens fan, this year is up there with 2000 and 2012. 2009, was it 2009, 2006? So we had several years, 2014, but it's right up there. It's right up there. It got the feel to me, and if things keep going the way it's going, it's gonna be right up there in the top three teams. Or even the number one team in Ravens history, the best team the Ravens ever had, except for maybe a couple of players. But team as a team, this has got the makings of being one of the best teams in Ravens history, if not in NFL history. Okay, so I want you all just to keep your eyes open, stay motivated, keep talking trash to our haters and other teams, stay on those blogs, holler at me. This is your boy, Be More Bucks, also known as Antonio CEO Arrington. Okay, I'm in your blogs, I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, I make videos, so check me out, holler back at me. And with that being said, I want to wish you the best. Happy holidays to you if I don't talk to you again before the holidays. Be safe out there, take care of each other, love, peace. Go Ravens.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.